Howdy all Molgox Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Ooh, I'm thirsty. My guy says he's thirsty. Let's see, 24 water, 20 water. You get 20 water from water. That's great. Oh, you get 60 water from this pure mineral water. Hey, why is there murky water in here? Shouldn't be murky water in there. Get over here with the other murky water. Chances are I'm about to be hungry too, so I'm gonna go ahead and down this hobo stew I found somewhere. Alright. Time to go see if we can't find some good stuff. What that stuff will be, I have no idea, but I would like a headlamp. I haven't seen one of those yet. I'd like a machine gun of some kind. Chances are be AK to start off with. And then I'd move up to the tactical rifle when I get a chance. Or maybe recipes for those things. Either or. I thought I saw a... I don't know, look kind of like a warehouse that was Shotgun Messiah out here somewhere. I mean, it was probably just a store, but it was an odd-looking store. This is a Shotgun Messiah over here. This isn't the one that I saw. Pretty sure I've been in this one. Yeah. Ooh, I might not have been back here, though. Not seeing a lot of boxes. Oh, I'll take a tire. Tires are good. I don't know why there's a tire in the gun store, but you know. Not a lot in the way of guns in the gun store either. We need some pants. Alright, so not the Shotgun Messiah I was looking for. But we should... It's already marked. I'm gonna go north, I guess, from here. This looks like there's some more stores out this way. Well, another week and another no D&D. This should be the last week, maybe, for that. I did get a third of the way started with the random D&D that I want to do. That I talked a little bit about last episode, I think. And so my thought process is we'll have a game that we can play when not everybody's available. And so which might be a little tricky. A little tricky to do with shifting number of players available, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be a little less overwhelming combat, maybe. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But again, one of the guys didn't show up, didn't say why he didn't show up, just straight up didn't show up. I think he said that he would be more available after mid-June, and that currently he struggles a little bit to be home when we want to play. The problem is that when he is home, then he says he's too tired to play because we played too late, and then we shifted times, and he said he could be there for it, and then didn't even leave a message that he wasn't going to show up, so yeah. And my thoughts and opinions on that. Rude. But yeah, so the other two guys and myself, we rolled up 4 characters each last night. It was kind of funny because the one guy's like, I'm going to play fighter. I'm like, okay. I too am going to make a fighter. And he's like, now I'm going to make a monk. I'm like, okay. And then I made what did I make for my second character? Druid, I think. And then he goes, now I'm going to make a paladin. And I'm like, okay. And then the other guy, he had made I know he made a wizard and a druid and a paladin. I honestly don't remember what his 4th character was. And so then I made a I don't remember what the other guy's 4th character was either. What did he make? He made a monk, a fighter, a paladin, and a sorcerer, I think. And then I think the other guy also made a sorcerer. So he did wizard, sorcerer. Nope, he did a wizard, paladin, rogue. Wizard, paladin, rogue, druid. And then I did I swear there was something moving next to me. It was right there, that little rabbit. I thought it was a crawler. I was stepping down to smash it. Alright, well I did not see, I guess, maybe it was one of these buildings? So I guess we'll go south and check that out. That's an awful fast speed limit for being in town. 45 miles an hour? And so then my 4 characters were a fighter, because that's my favorite class, a warlock, a rogue, and a druid. I've always wanted to play for a long-term character, a wildfire. I say always, since it came out. The wildfire druid. I played one for a few levels in a campaign that fell apart. And I really, really liked it. And so I've been wanting to play play it again. And I haven't played a druid to high levels. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was thinking of right here, this shooting range. I haven't seen a setup like this before. So, oh shoot, you know what? I need to mark this place. I realized while wandering around that I had not marked my home base. Um, and then I had them pick out non-standard classes. So like, I was like, okay, so you guys come from an area that's farm fields and a small town that is on a bay, so they do a lot of shipping. Um, but they're so far away from centralized civilization that they don't have a large port. It's just a small port, basically. And so I did dock worker and a wagon driver, and then I think the one guy did a hunter and a guard, and then the other guy was a blacksmith and a carpenter. Um, and so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some character sheets for him based off of those choices. I have to think about it, but I'm thinking like each one will get um, one stat buff to a +1, uh, and then um, why is the ammo empty? And then oh, the gun rack is empty. Apparently, I've been in here already, but I didn't loot that side of the building. I don't know. That's weird. And so like the guard, right? He would have plus to his strength, and then just basic like a leather armor and a sword, right? And then the hunter, uh, I'm gonna make up a. I make magic items for my games pretty often, and so I'm gonna do not a magic item, but you make them under the magic items. Basically, just a cloak that will give him a bump to stealth when they're in, the forest or whatever. And then and so then each one of them would get some kind of stat bump, and then some kind of unique piece of, not unique, but a couple of nice pieces of it. I say nice. They're very low level characters, so these aren't like D&D characters that are going to go up levels, which is why this is going to be an interesting campaign to try. And look, this says gunsmith back here, to try and balance, because they're going to have 6 characters, but they're only going to play one at a time, and it's going to be determined by dice roll who they're playing. They don't know it yet, but I talked about a little bit about how it's going to be based off of dice roll, and so the the idea is that the world gets shattered, and not like physically destroyed, but the like multiverse reality gets a bit shattered. The world's not going to change, but the class and race, in some instances, of the characters is going to alter. But they're always going to be the same person. They're just going to be different versions of that same person. And so when a shift occurs, they'll roll the dice and see what happens and see which one they shift into. And so I think that may make for an interesting game. I don't know. It won't be the first time that I tried something that we only play a little bit and then I decide I don't like it. I tried to do. The problem is getting the rest of them to show up for things, right? And so some games require large amounts of prep work. Okay, let me rephrase that. Homebrew campaigns require extra prep work that the adventure books that we play do not. And so I have to create maps. I have to balance out encounters. I have to, come up with the storyline. So there's a lot of work that goes into that. And then on top of that, I like to fiddle with the actual like mechanics of the game a little bit. And so when we get ready to play, that means I'll have spent a few hours, probably a couple hours at least, prepping for the session, and then I'll get everything started up and loaded up and maps put up and all that kind of stuff, and then they just don't show up, and they don't say why they don't show up. It gets a little frustrating. It's not as look at that level 6 Shiv. I mean, it's annoying when they don't show up for the pre-made adventure as well, but at least the pre-made adventure was basically just copy and drag this map over. Uh, Not I spent all weekend prepping for this session, and then you don't even bother to show up. Uh, so we had tried one before, but it was too complicated. I feel like I feel like I could maybe put some real work into it to get it to work, and I like the concept. Um, Basically, I wanted to make a version of D&D where where instead of going up levels and being locked into a class, that you had access to all abilities from all classes, but you didn't just get to choose what your abilities were going to be. You had to um, do enough of that type of thing while playing to access those abilities. And so, uh, if you constantly used a sword, right? Then depending on how you use the sword, because there's different ways to use a sword in D&D. Basically, you can use like Dex for some of the weapons, or you use Strength for some of the weapons. And so I was keeping track of I was keeping track of every time they did something related to strength, well, then they would get stronger. And then when they got enough points built up in what they did using strength, man, that guy's not falling down. Then they would get an actual increase to their strength score. And so I went through and I have a worksheet, several worksheets that I put together, spreadsheets, and they basically list. It's out of date a little bit now because there've been a couple of books since then, but they basically list all of the class skills, and I associate them with um, a stat and a level of a stat, and then uh, if there's like a precursor ability you have to use it, then it lists that there is this precursor ability. And so while you do have access to all of the skills, you can only learn skills that you have the prereqs for, basically. So kind of like a Skyrim kind of thing. Um, it's pretty complicated. I really like the idea, and I may go back and visit it again. Um, I feel like the players didn't get into it as much as I wanted them to. Um, I really wanted them to interact with the world in a way that we don't normally do. And so given that you have to do things to go up levels instead of just getting experience, everybody would be different. Everybody would level different, and so they'd have to really they'd have to really try to do the things that they want their character to be, rather than just um, uh-oh. We have reached full inventory. Although, I'm going to read this map. And then we're going to see if I can finish searching this room here. And so, we played a little bit of that one. I think we played 1 or 2 sessions. And I liked it, but it was really complicated to keep track of. Like every time they did something, I'd have to increase multiple different locations so that because I had to keep track of their level up, right? I can't just have them willy-nilly decide when they use an ability. And so it was just a lot. Every time they rolled the dice, I'd have to not only be looking at what was going on in the game, but I'd also have to be flipping through pages, because we're talking like 3 different character sheets. Nice. Reload rifle is 10% faster. I hope that applies to machine guns. But I'd like to get back into that and okay, so I totally was not hitting what I thought I was aimed at. So, yeah, so I kind of gave up on that for now. The thing is that I understand Microsoft Excel very well, and I don't understand Google Docs as well. Whatever their spreadsheet program's called. I mean, I use it, but um, I know a lot of tricks I can do with Excel that would be great for what I want to do, whereas the Google spreadsheet doesn't seem to have some of the tricks that would make my life easier. And so I've got to take the time to learn the Google spreadsheet better. Um, Basically, what I need is I need some way to update a single instance and then have it update everywhere else on the sheet. And I haven't taken the time to look into it because with Excel, right? I could put in like spinners, which would let me just click on it and then increase it by 1 automatically, and I could link all those cells together to to increase the um, I don't remember how I had it split up. I honestly don't remember. Like, I may have had an actual like sword skill uh, or something like that, and so proficiency in the game, like in D&D, you have proficiency, and so as you go up levels, your character just automatically gets better at all of his abilities. And so in my version that I was trying to work with, your proficiency was your actual proficiency, and so the more you used it, the better you got at it. I mean, there was a limit. It still only went up to 20 levels worth of stuff. I figured out all of that. It took me hours and hours to put this together, and it all fell apart. Not fell apart, but it was too overwhelming to play. It wasn't like, from the player's point of view, it wasn't bad, but from my point of view, there was just too much that I had to handle on my end. And so like I said, I needed a way to have it automatically update things, instead of me having to hunt down each individual instance of when something changed. Um, I mean, I still needed to do it, but I needed to be like, here's a +1 to sword, right? Sword using strength, and so then that would automatically update both sword and strength, because there are other abilities that are based off of your strength score, and so I need both the proficiency in using a sword, and also they get stronger. And I'm pretty sure it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I had it so that as you went through it, um, you I have so much stuff I don't even know what to do. Uh, like, the amount that it would take to go up in strength was greater than the amount that it would take to go up in a particular skill. I'm pretty sure that was how it was set up. And so um, let's throw this in here, I think. Oh, my acid did not make it into here. So yeah, that was some of the stuff I had done. Trying to do what I called my classless D&D. Just keep opening the same thing over and over again because I can't quite get my brain to wrap around what I've got in here. Oh, hey, look at that. I've got a Gravedigger mod I could put on my shovel. Weapons. But yeah, so I did get a world map put together for my new game. Um, I got a town map started, but I need to finish. I need to finish labeling it. And then I have a general idea for the overarching storyline, which I already told you about, which is just basically that dude wants to tear a hole in reality so that he can go back to his own world. That's about all I need to get going in a in a campaign. And then the week to week as we play will change what's happening. I don't really do a lot of plan out ahead. Honestly, the world map that I made. Well, I didn't make it. I went onto a site that makes them for you. But it has more places than I usually prep ahead of time on it. And so I do need to go over that and decide how that's going to work into my storyline, where people are going to go, and things like that. So, um, but yeah, it's definitely heading in the right direction. They wanted to start last night after we got our characters made. Although by the time we got our characters made, it was almost 11 o'clock, which was later than we said we were gonna quit. And so I was like, yeah, no, it's not happening this week. I need a dungeon. I haven't made the first dungeon yet. Which I guess there's a dungeon at the beginning, but so my thought process is they're gonna play the first choice they made of the non-standard class. So a guard, uh, blacksmith, and dock worker. Uh, Clearly, they'll know each other because they come from the same small town. And then the bad guy will show up claiming to be an ambassador for the local or the area ruler, and he'll have some guys with him, and then they'll probably say that they've been sent by the king or whatever to retrieve uh, a relic that was hidden in the town, and so then the mayor will. I think it's a lord in this town. I don't remember. I think he's a retired military guy. Oh, I thought that was gonna explode. Jeez. Um, and so he he'll send the three of the characters with the bad guy into wherever it's buried. I forget it. It says on the city map already where what the city map has some places listed on it already and what's going on there, but I haven't marked down on the map yet where they're at or added in some other things that you know would be necessary. Um, and So then they will go into the dungeon that's under one of the buildings. I don't remember which one it's under. And they'll break down a wall, is my plan. They'll break down a wall that leads to some old catacombs that most of the people aren't aware of, and or nobody will be aware of. It's been hidden that long. The bad guy just knows where it's at because he's got some kind of device that detects it for him, and then they'll get in there and they'll find whatever I come up with that will not be what he's looking for, and in the process of trying to see if it's what he needs it for, it will explode. Uh, And that's weird looking to me. Uh, and so once it does that, that's when everything's going to start to shatter. He's already done it. He's already shattered reality. It just hasn't reached the village yet. Um, there's a town to the northwest of where they're at, and I've already decided that that's going to be destroyed by him. I like the idea that he's, destroying things. And so then once that happens, that's when they will. I might make 2 dungeons. I might make one that's pre uh, pre-shattered, that's not full of creatures, and then a post-shattered one that is full of creatures. And then they'll roll a dice and see which class they shift to, and then we'll play the dungeon out as they try to work their way. Dang it, I thought that was a zombie noise. Then I thought it might just be the wind. No, it's a thunderstorm, because I have them every 5 minutes in this game for some reason. But yeah, and then we'll go from there and see how the story progresses as we go. Like I said, my previous homebrew campaign that I ran for a long time, I didn't really plan ahead too much. I'd make up a few things that they could do during the session that we were about to do, and then things would just grow from the storyline, which is how I like to do it. All right, with that, I am gonna call it here, and we can pick back up trying to find this treasure next time. So with that, be better than small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.